Good morning, students. We are going to start with the legislative powers. So the first point, it is a address session of the parliament, when president is going to address the both the houses of the parliament. So there are two different ways or two different times. You can say that the first time the president will address both the houses when the fresh Lok Sabha session will be held. That is, after every general election, the Lok Sabha members, those who are being elected, they will come in the house, and president will give a speech, or he will address the house. And during the 5 years after starting every year, whenever the first year they are going to start, the president is going to address the house. So two different times. First, when the new Lok Sabha fresh general elections they will take place, that time president will address the house, both the houses of the parliament. And second time, every year, within 5 year, every commencement of the every year, he will address the both the houses of the parliament. Second, it is a message to the parliament. He has the power to send a message to either house of the parliament, either in the regard to any pending bill or any other matter. So he is having a proper powers that he can send the message to the house, to any of the house, regarding any pending work. Then summons and prorogue the house. Now what it means, the president has the power to summon and prorogue the house of the parliament. That is, the power to summon parliament, or you can say that whenever there will be the session to be held. As you know that there will be two sessions, means it should be three sessions, but at least between two sessions it should not be more than 6 months. So normally there are three sessions in a year, that is the budget session, monsoon session, and the winter session. So it is the duty of the president that to summon parliament, or that there should not be a gap of more than 6 months between these two sessions, or between the two sessions of the house. Then dissolve the Lok Sabha. He can dissolve the Lok Sabha and order fresh elections. And during that time, Rajya Sabha is a permanent body, because I taught you that Rajya Sabha will never dissolve. Then nomination of the members. Parliament can nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha and 2 members in the Lok Sabha. 12 members, they are in the field of literature, science, art and social services, whereas 2 members in the Lok Sabha, those who belongs to Anglo-Indian community. Then assent to the bills. No bill can become a law without the assent or without the signature of the president. So it is very necessary that the president should give his assent, then only the bill will be passed, then only the bill will come into action. Then promulgate ordinances. Ordinances are the decisions or laws which are being passed when the house is not in the session. So the power to promulgate an ordinance, it under following condition, like the president must be satisfied that circumstances make it necessary to make it to take immediate action. The ordinances cannot be passed unnecessarily. It is very necessary that president should confirm that it is a great necessity that ordinances should be passed. Then only the immediate action will be taken. Secondly, an ordinance can be promulgated at a time when both the houses are not in the session. Okay, when one house in session, there is no bar in issuing of the ordinances. Third, the ordinances which are made during that time, if the parliament does not approve the ordinances, it lapse. If an ordinance is not disapproved, it will automatically cease to operate at the end of the 6 weeks from the date of the parliament. As you know that these ordinances, they are made for a small period of time. So if parliament will not give the approval to the ordinances, it will lapse. Lapse means it will not be taken into consideration. It will not be operated. But if it is not disapproved, it will automatically, it will be, that law will be finished when both the houses of the parliament will come into session. Within the coming of them into the session, within a 6 week, that ordinance will be no more. So the ordinances lapse if it is replaced by the act of parliament. So assent to some of the bills, it is the one of the more power of the president, that the governor may reserve some bills passed by the state legislature for the consideration of the president. So the president can refuse his consent to such a bill, or he can also send it back for reconsideration. Bill affecting matters such as the powers of the high court are reserved for the consideration of the president. These are some of the state bills also which are being passed by the state, where the approval of the president is required. Then formation of the new state, a bill for the formation of new state or alteration of areas, that is also cannot be introduced until or unless president will recommendation. Without president recommendation, so it is very necessary that recommendation of the president is required. So these are some of the legislative powers of the president. After legislative powers of the president, we are having the discretionary powers. Discretionary powers, they are very important powers. The powers which are not under any head, they are under the, which are enjoyed by the president, like appointment of the prime minister in the situation where no single party commands the clear support of the majority of the Lok Sabha.